The question that has been on every fan's mind since Ghost's death is simple but chilling. What is Tariq really up to? And does he know more than he's letting on? From the moment Ghost was taken from the game, Tariq's actions have been carefully calculated, and every move seems to carry a hidden meaning. At first glance, he appears to be just a young man trying to survive in a dangerous world. Trying to navigate the pressure from the police, his family, and the streets. But look closer, and there are layers of strategy, deception, and ambition that suggest nothing about Tariq is as simple as it seems. Some fans argue that his behavior after Ghost's death, from the cryptic meetings with allies to the sharp reactions when Ghost's name is mentioned, shows a mind that is planning multiple steps ahead. Tariq is careful, often keeping his cards close to his chest, yet there are tiny slips, small signs that hint at knowledge or intentions beyond what anyone else suspects. Could he be aware of details surrounding Ghost's death that no one else knows? Every glance, every hesitation, and every choice raises the question of whether Tariq is simply reacting to circumstances or quietly shaping the outcome in his favor. For example, when we watch him interact with law enforcement, he sometimes seems more informed than he should be, navigating tricky situations with a level of calm that doesn't feel entirely natural for someone his age and experience. And when it comes to his family, there is a duality in his actions. On the surface, he is loyal, protective, and worried. But beneath that loyalty, there may lie a careful calculation of power, influence, and survival. The choices he makes in those crucial moments, whether to intervene, step back, or speak, carry weight beyond just protecting himself. They hint at a deeper understanding of the forces at play around him. Another layer of complexity comes from Tariq's relationships with allies and adversaries alike. He is constantly observing, measuring, and sometimes manipulating situations without revealing his hand. It is this subtle control, combined with the knowledge of secrets he holds, that makes fans wonder if Tariq knows more about Ghost's death than anyone suspects. Is he hiding information, testing loyalties, or even preparing for a reveal that could change everything? The tension rises further when we consider how Tariq reacts under pressure. In moments where others might panic or make mistakes, he often demonstrates restraint, patience, and careful timing, qualities that suggest experience beyond his years, or perhaps insight into events that have not yet come to light. Even seemingly small actions, like choosing when to confront someone, when to remain silent, or when to show emotion, all serve as clues that there is more beneath the surface. The combination of calculated moves, strategic thinking, and subtle manipulation paints a picture of someone who is not only surviving but potentially controlling the narrative around Ghost's death. Fans are divided. Some believe he is merely a young man caught in circumstances too big for him, making the best choices he can to protect himself and his family. Others think he is playing a dangerous game of power, quietly gathering knowledge and influence, while others remain unaware of his full capabilities. The mystery deepens when we consider the possible consequences of his knowledge. If Tariq does indeed know more about what happened to Ghost, it could explain the careful manner in which he moves through the world, the secretive conversations, and the calculated risks he takes. Every interaction becomes loaded with meaning, and every pause or hesitation might signal a hidden strategy. What makes Tariq's character so compelling is that he exists in a gray zone where motives are unclear and every action can be interpreted in multiple ways. His loyalty, intelligence, ambition, and sometimes recklessness combine to create a character whose next moves are always unpredictable yet deliberate. In the end, the question is not just what Tariq is doing now, but what he will do next, and whether the truth about Ghost's death will ever fully come to light. As fans continue to analyze his every move, the tension grows, leaving everyone to wonder if Tariq is truly a survivor of circumstance, a player shaping the game, or a young man holding dangerous secrets that could change everything in the world. A power book, Force, since Ghost's death, every move Tariq makes seems to carry layers of hidden meaning, and fans have started noticing the subtle ways he navigates his world, often in ways that suggest he knows more than he lets on. From the way he interacts with law enforcement to the decisions he makes around his family and the people connected to Ghost's life, there is a pattern of careful calculation and selective revelation. For instance, his conversations often appear casual or even hesitant at first, but if you pay attention to the timing and the choice of words, they reveal a man who is measuring every reaction, gauging how much information he can safely share and when it might benefit him to hold back. In situations where others might act impulsively, Tariq shows a level of control that seems unnatural for someone so young, as if he has anticipated potential outcomes and is positioning himself to stay ahead of every problem. His interactions with allies are just as revealing. He often asks questions indirectly, allowing others to reveal details without him having to say much, which is a technique that suggests he is actively gathering information while appearing passive. At the same time, his responses to threats or challenges are carefully calibrated, sometimes subtle, sometimes bold, but always strategic, hinting at a mind that is balancing loyalty, survival, and ambition. One of the most intriguing aspects of Tariq's behavior is his attention to timing and perception. When Ghost's name is mentioned or when sensitive topics arise, Tariq's facial expressions, body language, and brief pauses seem to indicate an awareness of information that is not being shared openly, as if he knows the implications of every conversation more than the people around him realize. This subtlety extends to his decision-making when it comes to his family as well. While he clearly cares about his mother and those close to him, he also demonstrates moments of detachment and caution that suggest he is weighing risks, predicting consequences, and choosing actions that might serve his interests or protect his secrets. Even his engagement with the criminal world shows signs of strategic foresight. He participates in operations or interactions that seem risky, but his approach often reveals a depth of planning. Small gestures, brief conversations, or carefully timed exits that indicate he is not merely reacting but orchestrating. Fans have also pointed out that Tariq's relationships with key figures, whether allies or rivals, are a constant game of information control. He listens more than he speaks, probes without revealing, and sometimes even misleads others to maintain an advantage, which raises questions about how much he really knows about the events surrounding Ghost's death. In addition, there are moments where Tariq's reactions hint at inner conflict. He is aware of the weight of secrets he holds, yet he balances the need for survival with the morality of his choices, creating a tension that makes it difficult to predict his next move. Every choice he makes, every word he says, and every pause he takes seems designed to maintain control while testing the reactions of those around him. Even when he appears vulnerable, there is a calculated element too. His behavior suggesting that his apparent mistakes may in fact be part of a larger plan, or at least an attempt to manipulate perceptions. The cumulative effect of these actions is a portrait of a young man who is far more aware and capable than many give him credit for. Someone who may indeed possess knowledge about Ghost's death that he has not shared, and whose motives are layered with survival, loyalty, ambition, and perhaps hidden truths. Observing Tariq in this light, it becomes clear that his story is not just about reacting to tragedy, but about navigating a world filled with secrets, deception, and power plays, where every move can have consequences far beyond what anyone else expects, leaving viewers to constantly question whether he is a pawn, a player, or something in between. The suspense of his actions, combined with the subtle hints scattered throughout the episodes, ensures that fans remain on edge, constantly analyzing his decisions, waiting for the moment when Tariq's knowledge or motives might finally come to the surface, and realizing that in the world of Power Book, force appearances can be deceiving and every character carries secrets that could change everything. Looking closely at Tariq's actions, it becomes clear that his motives are not simple, and they seem to exist on multiple levels at the same time, creating a complex web that makes it almost impossible to predict his next move. One of the most obvious motives is self-preservation. From the very start, Tariq has been aware that the world he is part of is dangerous, full of law enforcement scrutiny, gang rivalries, and family expectations. Every choice he makes, from the careful way he navigates police encounters to the subtle way he distances himself from potential threats, reflects a constant effort to stay ahead and avoid being caught in situations that could ruin him. His intelligence and awareness allow him to act with caution, often pretending to be uncertain or reactive while secretly calculating the safest path. Another motive that drives Tariq is loyalty to his family, particularly to his mother, Tasha, and those connected to Ghost's legacy. Even when he appears to make decisions that put him at odds with others, there is often information which aligns with a motive of knowledge accumulation. Knowing more than others gives him leverage. And even small pieces of information can be critical in shaping outcomes in a dangerous world. Some fans argue that Tariq's behavior also reflects a moral struggle. He wants to do the right thing, protect those he loves, and honor Ghost's memory. Yet the choices he faces often force him to act in ways that contradict these principles. This tension creates internal conflict, making his motives even more layered, because he is not simply pursuing power or survival, but balancing those needs against loyalty, guilt, and the long-term consequences of his actions. Every interaction, every seemingly minor decision, becomes part of a larger puzzle that reveals a man who is simultaneously cautious, strategic, and ambitious. Even moments that seem like mistakes may actually be calculated risks, designed to test the reactions of others or protect information he is not ready to reveal. When analyzed together, Tariq's motives paint a picture of someone who is navigating a maze of power, loyalty, survival, and hidden knowledge. Each decision carefully measured to advance multiple goals at once, whether he is acting out of self-preservation, ambition, loyalty, or secret understanding of Ghost's death. Tariq remains a character whose actions are impossible to predict, whose motives are layered, and whose next move could shift the entire balance of power in ways no one sees coming. It is this combination of caution, strategy, ambition, and secrecy that keeps fans guessing, constantly theorizing, and eager to watch every interaction, waiting for the moment when Tariq's true intentions are finally revealed and the depth of his knowledge about Ghost's death comes to light. As we examine Tariq's actions more closely, there are subtle signs scattered across the episodes that hint he may know more about Ghost's death than anyone realizes. These are not always obvious moments. They are in the pauses, the glances, the half smiles, or the slight hesitation before he speaks, moments that suggest an inner awareness and calculated control. For example, when sensitive topics about Ghost arise around him, Tariq often reacts in ways that seem measured, almost as if he is testing the environment, observing how others respond before revealing anything. These reactions, while brief, are loaded with meaning for those paying attention. Another clue comes from his interactions with allies and rivals. He sometimes asks indirect questions, encouraging others to speak freely while he reveals nothing, collecting pieces of information that could be crucial. In some episodes, he has been shown observing situations from a distance, quietly taking in conversations that might appear mundane but are clearly of strategic importance. His ability to predict outcomes, intervene at the right moment, or step back and let events unfold without interference suggests an awareness of details that are not yet public and that others in the story may not fully grasp. There are also moments when Tariq seems to understand consequences before they happen. For instance, he navigates tense exchanges between rival factions with a calmness that indicates he has considered multiple possibilities, carefully weighing risks and choosing the safest or most beneficial course of action. Fans have pointed out that these calculated behaviors are consistent with someone who possesses knowledge beyond what is immediately visible. Moreover, his private conversations often carry hidden significance. Tariq will sometimes speak in half-truths or vague statements, prompting others to reveal more than they intended, a tactic that hints at both intelligence and awareness of sensitive information. Even seemingly insignificant choices, like who he trusts when he chooses to act or when he stays silent, are clues that he may be manipulating circumstances in subtle ways to maintain control and protect secrets. Another layer of these hints comes from the small inconsistencies in his story or reactions. There are times when he hesitates, appears conflicted, or avoids direct answers, suggesting that he is hiding knowledge or waiting for the right moment to use it. These micro-behaviors, when analyzed together, paint a picture of someone who is not just surviving but actively navigating a world filled with danger, deception, and incomplete information. There are also fan theories that gain credibility when these small details are considered. For instance, some believe Tariq might have been present in situations related to Ghost's death or knows key info or information about the circumstances surrounding it. While the show never explicitly confirms this, his careful actions, selective disclosures, and ability to anticipate events create strong evidence that he is more informed than he lets on. The way he balances his relationships with family, allies, and adversaries adds yet another clue. He protects certain people while subtly steering others, an indication that he is aware of the ripple effects of his knowledge and is choosing when to act and when to remain in the shadows. His duality, appearing vulnerable at times yet demonstrating moments of precise control, adds to the mystery, leaving viewers to wonder if these behaviors are instinctual or a sign of calculated planning based on secret knowledge. Even when events spiral unpredictably, Tariq seems to adapt quickly, a trait that suggests he has contingency plans or information that gives him an advantage. Observing him closely, it is evident that he is always one step ahead, listening, watching, calculating, and waiting, all hallmarks of someone who knows more than the surface reveals. Whether these clues indicate full knowledge of Ghost's death or only partial insight, they reinforce the idea that Tariq is not merely reacting to the world around him but actively shaping outcomes, protecting secrets, and positioning himself strategically in a game that is far larger than most characters realize. The subtlety of these hints, combined with his intelligence and restraint, ensures that every viewer is left analyzing his actions, speculating on motives, and questioning whether the truth about Ghost's death is something Tariq may reveal or something he is determined to keep hidden until the perfect moment. If Tariq's hidden knowledge about Ghost's death were ever to come to light, the consequences could be explosive, affecting everyone around him and completely changing the balance of power in his world. On a personal level, his family would be immediately impacted, particularly his mother, Tasha, who relies on him not just for protection, but also for guidance in navigating the dangerous situations the T have become part of their lives. Revealing what he knows could put her in direct danger, or it could force her to make choices she never expected, testing the strength of their bond and potentially fracturing the family dynamic that Tariq has. It's so hard to preserve. Beyond family, the criminal and gang networks surrounding him would be thrown into chaos. Tariq's knowledge gives him leverage that, if exposed, could spark rivalries, betrayals, or violent reprisals. Those who previously underestimated him might suddenly recognize the strategic mind he possesses, leading to confrontation, alliances, shifting overnight, and even dangerous attempts to silence him or manipulate him for their own gain. Law enforcement could also be affected in dramatic ways. Tariq's secrets, if revealed at the wrong moment, could implicate him, his allies, or even his family in ways that dramatically increase the risk of arrest or long-term imprisonment. Conversely, if he manages to release information strategically, he could manipulate outcomes in his favor, gaining protection, bargaining power, or credibility that few characters in his world have access to. Another layer of consequence lies in the psychological and moral realm. Tariq has consistently shown signs of internal conflict, balancing loyalty, survival, and morality. Revealing the knowledge he has held could create emotional and ethical dilemmas for him, forcing decisions that challenge his sense of right and wrong and potentially altering the trajectory of his personality and relationships. Friends and rivals alike might struggle to trust him, or he might need to act in ways that compromise his own moral compass to maintain control. Additionally, the ripple effect of Tariq's secrets could extend beyond immediate circles, influencing events in ways that no one fully anticipates. Small actions like withholding or selectively revealing a single piece of information could trigger chain reactions that dramatically affect the power structure around him. Every decision he makes becomes a high-stakes gamble, where miscalculations could lead to violence, betrayal, or complete loss of control. This potential for upheaval is compounded by the unpredictability of the people around him. Allies may act in unexpected ways, rivals may exploit weaknesses, and the unpredictable nature of the criminal world means that even careful planning can encounter unplanned consequences. Tariq's ability to navigate these threats relies on his awareness, intelligence, and patience, but even these qualities can only mitigate so much when so many variables are in play. The tension of what could happen also serves to highlight the stakes for Tariq personally. He is walking a fine line between control and vulnerability, constantly assessing risk, calculating outcomes, and weighing the potential benefits and dangers of every move. This precarious balance ensures that viewers remain on edge, questioning what he will do next and how much his secrets could shift the course of the story. Even the smallest revelation could trigger a chain reaction, destabilizing relationships, alliances, and entire power structures. The unpredictability of the consequence